My name is Sharifa Murdock. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a daughter, I'm a friend. I have been a stay-at-home mom for about 15 years now. And more recently, I've become an author. Family is extremely very important to me. I have a wonderful husband. We have been together for maybe about 30 years. Married for 22. I have 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. My mother passed some years ago, so my father now lives with us. Oh, and I also have a dog. He's a part of the family. I found out that I have breast cancer. This was simply by chance. I went to a visit with my gynecologist in January, and he did a checkup. Everything was fine. Did my pap smear, everything was well. After that, I found that I started to have heavier periods that lasted longer. So I called him. He said, "Come back in. Let's check to see what's happening." I did. That was in June, early June. Everything was fine, except that he also did a breast exam, which he usually does. And then he said, "Sharifa, I think I feel a lump." I was okay about it because I know that, women have lumps in their breasts, so I was fine. But then he said, "When was your last mammogram?" And I have never done a mammogram. So he says, "You need to go and do one." And mammogram led to an ultrasound because it was inconclusive, said that my breasts were dense, which I was actually excited about because I've always been teased that I don't have any breast, which, is something that I actually find quite funny with this whole scenario because breast cancer was never something that I would be thinking that I would possibly have, simply for the fact that I have grown up thinking, all right, I have a very small breast. That's the last cancer that I need to think about. But ultrasound was done and it showed something suspicious, which was biopsied and later told that it was cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer on the 24th of July, 2023. I was at my mother-in-law's house. We were there for dinner, my entire family, my kids, my husband, and my in-laws. And I was expecting the call simply because I had spoken to someone earlier the day who told me that my results were ready. And she was gonna try and get the radiologist to call me. Before the call, we prayed about it, and I kind of felt calm after that. Then my phone rang. I stepped away from my family simply because I just wanted to focus on what the radiologist was saying to me. 3 lumps were biopsied. She said to me, "Well, it is what I expected, but fortunately it's only in 1 lump. So yes, you do have cancer." And I'm not sure I heard anything else of what was being said after that. I was, of course, in my own head, trying to figure out what the next step is gonna be. So even though she was probably telling me what the next step was, I was in my own head trying to tell myself, okay, so what am I gonna do now? My eldest son, he got up and he kind of walked out of the room. My youngest child, who is 9, I kind of just held her and explained to her what was happening. For her, hearing about cancer, she sees it as a death sentence. So, I kind of said to her, well, the doctors are going to take care of it. Mommy's going to be fine. And then she was okay with that. And surprisingly, I was calm. But then it was the day after that, when everybody left, that I totally broke down and had some words with God. How did this happen? I had faith in you. I had faith that this wasn't going to be cancer. Why? What did I do to deserve this? Am I being punished for something? All those tough questions. Also asked if the fact that I recently wrote a book, if that was meant to be my legacy. So I'm supposed to die and leave that, and if my journey is supposed to be somebody else's lesson. So all the tough questions were being asked, were being directed to God. I am scheduled to have a double mastectomy on the 23rd of September, 2023. I'm trying to mentally prepare for that. I've never done any form of surgery before, so there is some anxiety there. I have had a concern with low blood pressure, and just the thought of being put to sleep with low blood pressure, gives me anxiety. But I am trying to do my best to stay calm, trust that my surgeons know what they're doing, trust that I'm in good hands. I have changed my diet. I've come off of all sugars. I have stopped using products on my skin. And I am very careful as to what I put into my body. There are just so many out there who have shown concern and love and support that it is overwhelming in the most wonderful way. The greatest support that I have gotten is when you don't have to ask for it, when people just offer it. And I would say, put yourself in that person's shoes. What is it that you think that you would need? And instead of saying, do you want me to? Just go ahead and do it. Be that person who is gonna say, all right, you haven't eaten in a while. Let me get something for you to eat. You haven't left your house in a while. Come, let's go for a walk. One of the big things that has happened since this diagnosis is that most of my friends want to protect my space. Not just friends, but of course family members. They want to protect whatever it is that I'm taking in, which means not sharing whatever it is that they are going through. And I'm not okay with that. I still want to be a part of their everyday lives. If it is that they're having a bad day, I want to know about it. I don't need anybody to be tiptoeing around me. I don't need that extra protection. If it is that I feel overwhelmed, I'll let you know. I know how to filter. I have done it. So if it is that I'm getting overwhelmed, I will do that. I've always found that writing is my best way to communicate, and it helps to relax me, whether it be journaling, whether it be the book that I wrote. Realizing that, my lump was found at an early stage, and even though that wasn't from my own doing, I definitely don't take that for granted. So I would love to be able to encourage others to go out there, to do their mammograms, to do their ultrasounds, whatever test it is that is needed, their MRIs, whatever it is. Just go out there and be tested first and foremost. There's hope out there, and that's something that I think a lot of people need to be encouraged by. Through every aspect of my life, my husband has been my biggest cheerleader, my greatest supporter. I don't know what I did to deserve him. He's my best friend, and I am sure that a lot of this positivity and this calmness comes because he is who he is. My children, they give me hope. They are love. They are life. I usually say to them, I love and I live you. They have given me so much purpose. My father, that's my buddy right there. He's the one who, quite calm and, cool, and, he's like, there's nothing to worry about. And he tries to instill some of that calmness in me. And I so love him for being who he is. My in-laws, who have just stepped into that gap to ensure that I am fed, that I'm well taken care of. My extended family, who from day one, the calls haven't stopped. Whatever it is that they might have been hearing that could be a possible need, they jumped in. And my friends, who I don't know how I'm ever going to repay them after this. I have not had to worry about anything at all because they don't allow me to. And I really don't know how I could possibly repay every single support system. I call everybody my army. I don't know how it is that I'm going to repay my army through this. But I am just so grateful. I feel tremendously blessed that I have each and every one of these people in my life.